Okay. Yeah. So we got another amount of time here. Now this last scene is so very important, because it really solidifies the whole film in one scene. So she does this amazing cinematic monologue, philosophical rather monologue that will look cinematic, and she steps off the bus, right? And so the audience is wondering, okay, wow, so she's still around, but is she going to disappear again? You know, what is she going to go home? Is she going to go to the cops, right, and say that she was never missing? What's going to happen? Is she going to, you know, conjoin back with this current reality, or is she going to stay in this free roam zone? But here's how the next scene starts. So, let's see. Make sure I have it in here. Okay, yeah. So she leaves the bus, and then so our next scene is in the daytime. And it shows the girl, and she is knocking on the door of her mom's house. You know? Right? She knocks on the door, and the mom opens the door. The early light spills across from a modest suburban living room, if you will, and the front door remains slightly open. You can hear the sprinklers in the distance. And the missing girl, you know, she stands in front of the doorway. Same clothes, same calm presence, and Mrs. Carter, her mom, stands just a few feet away, right? And so this is a heavy scene too, so forgive me. It's a lot to go through, but the mom is neither rushing nor collapsing. She's just kind of breathing. She's kind of shocked, you know. She thought her daughter was gone, let alone maybe dead, because it had been 7 months. And the mom just really calmly just looks at her and says, you know, they said you were gone. And the girl says, I was. The mom says, no, you were missing. And the girl says, only to you. So back to mom, she says, do you think that makes it smaller? Now the daughter doesn't answer immediately. And then they kind of move further into the living room. And the door still remains open, the morning air is coming through. You know, it's just kind of still. It's this still scene. And so the girl looks at her mom and says, well, the world kept moving. And the mom says, well, it always does. And the girl says, exactly. And the mom says, well, but that doesn't make it cruel. And the girl says, it doesn't make it meaningful either. And the mom agrees. The mom says, no. The mother says, we're temporary. And the girl says, yes. The mom even goes further. She says, replaceable. The girl says, mostly. And then she says, forgotten. And the girl says, eventually. And so the mom then kind of stiffens up. She says, so nothing truly matters. The girl says, not inherently. And the mom says, meaning is projection, is it not? And so, you know, what's happening here is the mom is going into this philosophical, big philosophical conversation with her daughter, because who better than to know? Remember the pink ribbon hanging on the thing? That was Mama. Mama came first, right? And so now we're seeing where the girl gets this sense of wisdom and deep thinking and this sought-after freedom. It's very much from her mom, is what we're seeing in this dialogue. And so yeah, the girl, she's like, the world kept moving. And the mom says it always does, if people need it to be. And the daughter says, if people need it to be. And then the mom says, well, most people do. So the girl says, because they're afraid. And the mom says, what, of being small? And she says, of being temporary. And back to the mom, of being alone. Then there's a silence. There's this eerie silence, right? Because they're really hitting a beat here, both of them. It's a very complicated, complex mother and daughter relationship. You know, having this very deep conversation that most parents and kids would not have with each other, I would think. And so the mom eventually kind of continues. She says, I agree with you. And the daughter, she just sits there and she kind of blinks. And the mom continues. The universe doesn't revolve around us. It doesn't pause when we leave. It doesn't mourn the way we think it should. The girl silently agrees, no. And the mom continues, if you disappear in a frame or in someone's memory, it doesn't change the fact that time continues. And the daughter is in agreement. She's like, right. And so the mom continues, so your leaving didn't fracture reality. And the girl, she says, no. And the mom continues, and your coming back doesn't fix it. And the daughter says, no. So then there's silence, and the mom steps a little closer to her daughter and says, then tell me something. If nothing truly matters, why did you come here? And the girl, very cleverly, she says, well, because I could. And the mom says, you could have gone anywhere. The daughter says, yes. And the mom says, but you came here. And the daughter holds her gaze. That doesn't make this sacred. The mom says, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You think I want you to stay because I believe this house means something in the cosmic sense? I don't. I know you don't belong to me. You never did. I know you could leave again and the earth would keep spinning. And the daughter says, it would. It would. And the mother says, that wouldn't make you evil. And the girl says, no. Right? Of course not. And then the mother then furthers that. She says, or me abandoned by fate. Right? That doesn't mean I'd be abandoned by fate, right, daughter? And she says, no. So the mom says, maybe I am selfish. And the daughter's eyes narrow a little bit. She's starting to think, this conversation's not as advanced as I would like it to be. And then the mom continues. She says, maybe a mother wanting her daughter to stay is just biology or habit or fear of a quiet house. And the girl says, maybe. And the mom says, maybe it's naive wanting permanence in a world that doesn't offer it. And the girl says, it is. And the mom nods. She accepts that. And she continues onward. In a meaningless universe, can you actually blame me for that? If nothing is sacred, if nothing is guaranteed, if nothing belongs to anyone, then my wanting you here is just another random impulse like gravity or hunger or love. The world hangs there. Not romantic, not grand, just factual. I'm not arguing that it matters. I'm asking, can you blame me for it? And the daughter looks at the open door, at the morning light coming in, the ordinary furniture at her mom. And for the first time, no intellectual defense. She's just thinking. And she finally hesitates, kind of answers. She says, no. And the mother exhales. Not victory, not relief, but understanding. Just finally, there's some understanding between the two. And the daughter turns towards the hallway, and she kind of stops without turning. And she says, nothing changes, but nothing stays the same. And the mother watches her disappear down the hallway. The front door remains open. The morning air continues to drift in. Sprinklers tick. Life continues. No music swell, no revelation. Just existence. Fade out, end. And there you go. That is Inside the Voice of Love Falling Down, and that's how it ends. Is now, after this very brave woman had gone through this introspective journey of herself, she now kind of comes back full circle to the womb in which she came from, to her mom, and has this very heart-to-heart but philosophically intellectual conversation with her mom. And her mom, reminds her of just the humanity of it all, right? And the fact that there is such a lack of humanity shows why not keep your humanity when there's such a lack of it everywhere else. What will you? And so she, decides to stay with her mom, and so it's a happy ending, right? She finds her mama, she stays with her mama, and they're back together. And that's kind of one of the coming to age concepts of this. And so the thematic connection to the mother's scene here is the bus scene is building the thesis, right? That nothing matters. And the mother's scene builds this counterpoint. If nothing matters, I still want you. If nothing matters, I still want you. And so the bus scene is this philosophical detachment leading up to this living room scene, which is relational challenge. And so, is the bus monologue empowerment, or is it emotional escape? Is what some of the questions you might be asking yourself. Is this disappearance a rebellion or retreat? The most important insight I could tell you is the bus monologue is not about death. It's about narrative control. The daughter, she removes herself from being a victim, a crime, a headline, a statistic, and she becomes undefined. She becomes undefined, and this is both powerful and lonely. Powerful and lonely. But so is finding the cost of freedom. So that is our last scene there. Very good stuff, I would say. This daughter, she's embracing nihilism as freedom. And the mother does not reject nihilism. She absorbs it and reframes the love as voluntary preference in an indifferent universe. Right? That final line, nothing changes but nothing stays the same, acknowledges the cosmic indifference while affirming relational transformation. Right? That core question: is detachment strength or fear? Is choosing connection weakness or courage? And so there is that. Very, very good, very powerful scene, and it's a great way to wrap up this beautiful film. And we can definitely continue to go over this script, but for the most part, I think this is most of what I can teach from this, as far as, lessons go and everything. I don't know how much longer I could go on about this, but these were the key takeaways that I wanted you to get from Inside the Voice of Love Falling Down, at least until we can get Cass here. Cass is really busy right now in Vegas, working on other projects, but she does want to come and explain her take. Because why not get it from the author herself? So, but yeah, it's a surreal art film, kind of going into a procedural realism to chamber philosophy. Silence is weaponized throughout this whole script, and emotional restraint replaces melodrama. Its intellectual confrontation drives tension rather than action. So I'd go ahead and take that in your notes. Intellectual confrontation drives tension rather than action. Okay? And there is your confirmation. That class is over. So there we go, folks. Thank you so much for showing up, though. We will make sure to get this on the Zoom, and we will put these notes and the final scene to our script in Canvas. So, wonderful. Inside the Voice of Love, Falling Down. There we go. Up, up, up. Very good.